The FC Barcelona board is facing a series of ongoing challenges with the massive remodeling project at Spotify Camp Nou. As we all know, this is not just any renovation, it's the most ambitious project in the club's modern history, aiming to transform the stadium into a world-class venue with a seating capacity of around 105,000. The plans also include cutting-edge technology, improved facilities, and an overall better experience for fans. But, as you might expect with a project of this scale, progress hasn't been smooth sailing. While the club remains optimistic about returning to the stadium by the end of this year, reality seems to suggest otherwise. The major issue right now is that, despite all the planning, early morning shifts inside and outside the stadium are still suspended. So, why is this happening? The root of the problem lies with complaints from local neighborhood associations. They've raised concerns about the noise and pollution caused by the ongoing construction, which has affected the surrounding areas of Les Corts. This has been a significant sticking point for the club. The last thing Barcelona wants is to alienate its local supporters or create unrest in the community, so they've had to tread carefully. After several meetings with neighborhood representatives, Barca managed to secure some ground. They were given permission to resume 24-hour work shifts, but with some strict limitations. Work can only be done indoors during the nighttime hours, and they must take measures to minimize noise as much as possible. Let's break that down a bit. You might be wondering, why does working at night matter so much? Well, in a project like this, timing is everything. Being able to work around the clock, especially in a stadium this large, could speed up the process significantly. The more work that gets done at night, the faster the club can achieve its goal of returning home. But, as it stands, the club can only push forward with indoor tasks during these restricted hours, which has slowed down their progress. That being said, this new permission has at least allowed them to finish important parts of the renovation, like the third tier of seating and foundational work. These are crucial for the reopening phase, as it would allow the stadium to function with a limited capacity of around 64,000 seats. While this number is a far cry from the final intended capacity of 105,000, it would still be a massive improvement compared to the temporary arrangement at Montjuic. Speaking of Montjuic, let's shift our focus for a moment to the fans. The temporary move to the Estadi Olympic Luis companies has been an adjustment for many, but the Barca faithful have shown remarkable support for their team in these difficult times. However, Montjuic is far from ideal. Not only does it lack the historical significance of Camp Nou, but the club is also losing out on revenue from key streams like ticket sales, the club museum, and the official store. The sooner Barca returns to Les Corts, the sooner these essential sources of income can be recovered. This is critical for a club with financial challenges like FC Barcelona, which needs every bit of revenue to remain competitive on and off the field. But while some progress has been made, the club faces yet another major hurdle: staffing. Right now, there are around 1,800 workers employed at Camp Nou, along with 350 office technicians overseeing various parts of the project. However, this workforce is still insufficient, particularly for the night shifts. The lack of available personnel for the early morning shift is a big problem. According to reports, Barca may need to bring in workers from outside Catalonia to cover these shifts. You might wonder, why is that a setback? After all, they're just workers, right? The issue lies in the fact that any new crew would need extensive training to handle the specific demands of the project. A project of this size and complexity is not something where you can just plug in new workers and expect the same output. There's a learning curve involved, and that takes time, something Barca doesn't have a lot of if they want to meet their deadlines. And speaking of deadlines, this brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. When will Barca finally return to Camp Nou? Initially, the club had hoped to play their highly anticipated La Liga match against Atletico Madrid in December, just before Christmas back in their home stadium. It would have been a spectacular way to end the year, with the festive atmosphere adding to the sense of occasion. However, as things stand, that December return seems increasingly unlikely. There are just too many moving parts, and the delays keep adding up. The latest hope is to reopen the stadium by early January 2025, which would still be a win for the club. But even that timeline is starting to look optimistic. Some reports suggest that April 2025 might be a more realistic target, considering the number of challenges Barca continues to face. This isn't just about the stadium itself. It's about the impact on the team, the fans, and the club's finances. While the team has been performing admirably at Montjuic, there's no denying that returning to the iconic Camp Nou would give them an extra boost. The atmosphere, the home field advantage, it's irreplaceable. Not to mention, a return would mean a significant increase in revenue from ticket sales, the club museum, and the various shops and attractions that surround the stadium. Montjuic simply can't offer those same benefits. The pressure is mounting for Barca to get this right. They urgently need to return to their home, not just for emotional reasons, but also for financial stability. Every month that passes without the Camp Nou fully operational represents lost revenue, which is crucial for a club still recovering from financial struggles. In the end, while progress is being made, there are still many uncertainties. The club's leadership is doing everything it can to accelerate the process, but challenges like community complaints, workforce shortages, and the sheer scale of the project mean that delays are almost inevitable. As we move into the final months of the year, all eyes will be on how the situation unfolds. Will Barca return to the Camp Nou by January 2025? Or will they be forced to wait until April or even longer? One thing is for sure. The return to their beloved stadium can't come soon enough, and when it does happen, it will be a historic moment for both the club and its fans. Subscribe now and be a part of our stadium-loving family. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and be the first to explore the secrets, stories, and history behind these colossal structures.